Welcome, everyone, to Echoes of the Valley podcast. We're going to be jumping into episode number 2, and we're going to be diving into that age old question: where do I even begin? When we have one journey that's coming to an end, whether we know it intuitively, we're just feeling it, or we're actually seeing it starting to play out in our life, there's one big question that we tend to ask ourselves: where do we even start? Where do we start ending one journey? Where do we start beginning another journey? And when we begin new journeys in our life, there's a big change and a big transition, but we also have to upgrade our vessel to match that new journey we want to align to. Our nervous system, we're trying to align our emotions, how we respond, and just the frequency, the energy, and the vibration of our own self, our own energetic system to match what we're trying to align into. There's many different ways to start that journey. There's many different ways to look at it and to find who you are. Now, one thing that I have learned along my journey is sometimes we need to take the vessel, our body, into the shop to have it tuned up and to have it upgraded and aligned to that new journey we want to go on. And how do we do that? It's not a physical thing. It's not something that we just go to the doctors and have them adjust us or really give us that outer tune up. Or sometimes our body needs that, but a lot of times, if we can go internally and tune up the energy within us, then it'll also recorrect the issues we're having on the outside as well. And what this looks like is being in tune with your nervous system, your emotions, understanding your chakra system, your meridians, and how your system works, how it operates, and how the energy flows. Now, there's many different things to understand who you are. We can use astrology as a modality. We can use numerology, human design, your soul contract. There's a lot of different ways to understand who we are energetically. And when we come into these different parts of our life, we go through awakenings. And we don't just have one awakening in our life, we have many awakenings throughout our lifetime. And every time we want to make a change in life, we want to do better, we want to make an adjustment, a move, there's an awakening that comes with it. We have to align ourselves into a new version of us before we can transition into that new light, that new alignment we're looking for. If we use these different tools that we're given to understand who we are, then it can help us along this journey as well. And this is where I want to bring a lot of light to us. We can feel like things are going very well in our life, but sometimes we get to that point where it feels like there's a puzzle piece missing. Just I don't know how to get past this hurdle, or maybe I'm at this point in my life feeling that I'm going through these same experiences in life. The same people are coming into my life that have the same energy, or just this, I'm seeing that they bring the same thing to the table every single time. And when starting to see this and starting to recognize that I'm surrounding myself with the same type of friends, I'm going into the same relationships, and I'm experiencing the same things, but they're not giving me all that I need, then we want to start making changes along this journey. Now, this can also look like work aspect as well. We can be extremely happy in the job that we're in for many, many years. It can be lighting us up inside. It can be really allowing us to flow, and we enjoy it. It's fast paced, it's changing, or it's slower, and it just feels good to you. But over time, you might come to this place in life where it's just not feeling right anymore. It's just not lighting you up. And you're recognizing that maybe other parts of your life feel really good, but the career aspect is just not giving you that. And you're starting to feel drawn and pulled to something more or something different, but you don't know what. And you may not know where to align to. And this is where these different tools can come in. Your soul contract can come in, your human design can come in, and it can help you understand these deeper parts of yourself. So your soul contract, if you are finding these, I'll give you an example. With my soul contract, there is there's a through my karma and my physical talents and my physical goals, there is this place for me to shift. And when I'm doing things that I really want to do, so it's like showing up on doing live streaming or content creating or um, just showing up for whether it's public events, public speaking, or just even one-on-ones, there was always this part of me that just felt stiff. It felt rigid. And I didn't know how to get past that. Well, it was a cycle that I kept seeing over and over. And no matter what I did or how I approached it or how I worked on it, like I just could not figure it out. And so when I learned about my in my soul contract that I this is something that I had to work through, and in order for me to work through it, that part of my karma was which was being rigid in life. And the solution was just connecting my mind, body, and soul, which I already knew how to do. Then, which that's the talent of me, which as I saying that I already knew how to do that. And I had to just reflect back on life and realize that all of these times I've helped myself get past that uncomfortable position and let myself sink into comfort, then things would really shift for me in my life. Whether it was like I had my manifestations would come faster, I would just internally feel better. My energy would feel more aligned. I would feel just a lot more better flow within my own self, my own energy, and these things that were starting to come into my life were a lot better. But I started understanding those parts of me a lot more and realizing where I was holding myself back. And when I aligned that with understanding my human design, that I'm not meant to work, like work all the time, and I was burning myself out by doing that, then I realized that I actually needed to slow down and pivot. And it made sense for me where I would work in big spurts where I would get bigger chunks of income coming in, and then it would give me more time to rest. Otherwise, I was just really holding myself back from where I really wanted to go and being able to show up for me in a different way. So we sit here and ask, it's like, where do I even begin my journey? Well, you start questioning yourself. You start questioning what you want. Am I happy at work? Am I happy in my personal life? Am I seeing these repeating things that are going on around me? And we just start putting these pieces together. And one place that we can start directing ourselves into finding alignment into these new tools or into these different paths for us to go down to learn more stuff is we have to change our algorithm. We have to change our personal algorithm, like our physical one in our life, but also what we're consuming on the digital aspect of things. And so what you're consuming on social media, like, is it beneficial to you? Is it things that you enjoy seeing, not just that make you feel good in the moment or they just catches your interest and distracts you, but just these different things in life. It's what are you trying to achieve? How are you trying to feel? Are you trying to work on your mental health? Are you trying to work on your physical health? And you start looking up these different things within your algorithm, so it starts showing you these healthier things in life and these different things that you want to align to. And that starts helping aligning yourself and your energy, and it'll start help directing you into different communities that are aligned to where you want to achieve. And when you surround yourself with that type of energy, then yourself and the universe will start putting different people, places in your path. And it's those that have already started walking that journey that can help you understand with these different tools that they've used on their journey. Now, you have to use your discernment, though, along that journey and to understand, it may have worked for them, but not everything's going to work for you. So it's about taking pieces of what's worked for others and to see how it works for you. Does some of it, all of it, none of it. But it starts opening the doors of your own curiosity. And when you start allowing these things to just come into your life, explore it a little bit, it starts to make you think more, and it starts to make you look at things in a different way, in a different view. And that's what starts getting your curiosity. This is where you start questioning things in life, and you start going down these different rabbit holes to figure out what's your truth, what's not your truth. And you start learning a lot more about your own self. And the more that we're educated about these different things in life, the more that we're going to feel aligned to us. We're going to understand what our new beliefs are, our new faiths in life are. So we're going to get this deeper position of who we are. So I fully recommend that if you are in this place where the joy is fading out in life, and just could be all of life or just certain parts of life, start questioning yourself. I want you to start questioning the aspects of life that are not lighting you up, the ones that are lighting you up, and just explore it a little bit deeper for yourself. And as you do that, just recognize you're not looking for an outside validation. So you're not looking for a title in life. You're not looking for that bigger pay of income, essentially, which we do want and we do deserve to have, and we can achieve that bigger income and that income that's aligned to us. But if our focus is money focused and money driven, then we will lose ourselves along the way, and we will start finding that when money doesn't aligned to us, we can't find happiness. So if you can find the happiness outside the currency part of life, then you find a different kind of flow. And when that flow comes into your existence in your life, then the rest of it flows in a whole different way. You get different inspirations, different ideas, you create different baskets in life, and you don't put all of your focus and energy just in one thing. And if that thing fails, then everything's gone. But if you're opening yourself up to these bigger possibilities, you're having these doors open for you, and you're just having to walk through those doors. But as you walk through those doors, this is where you're going to see those different opportunities that are going to be available. And when you see those different opportunities available, we just experience a little bit of it. And if it's something that feels good to us, feels aligned to us, then we can start diving more into it and more into it. And when we do that, we don't become overwhelmed with a lot of these things in life. And it allows us to just kind of step into things a little bit more naturally with a little bit easier of a flow. So as you go down this journey of really just finding you and opening up to yourself, your beliefs, and what you want to align yourself into, just let yourself question things. But again, build that algorithm that's around you, the one that you want to align to, so that way it can start programming these things into your life and bring in these things that bring you joy and happiness, and it keeps that vibration high, and it keeps your focus on where you want to go. So life is all about choices. We have choices to make, and if we find that we end up in this path where we feel like we only have one choice to make, and it's that choice that we continue making over and over, and we feel like we're just making a little bit of forward movement, a little bit and a little bit, but then all of a sudden you have that 2 to 3 steps back, and so it almost feels like you had no forward movement at all. Then your energy just isn't 100% aligned to you. We're all going to have setbacks in life, we're all going to have hard moments, we're all going to have messy moments, and that's just part of the human existence. It's about how we respond to them and how we navigate through them as we honor the grief process of life, as we honor these areas of life of growth as well. And that's where we come into these big, deeper parts of our journey. But this is where we can also overcome a lot of the hurdles and obstacles that we encounter along this way. And that's when we're just unaligned with our energy, is when we just can't have those big breakthroughs. So the more that you align to yourself, you align to your own energy, your authenticity, and you understand who you are, how your energy flows, how it operates just in the day to day, then you can start understanding where these hurdles are. And again, soul contracts are very amazing. It has those elements of where you're going to struggle in life, but it also gives you the ability to understand how you can overcome these hurdles. But it doesn't give you the exact answer. It just tells you the energy that you need to embody in order to be able to have the power to get into where you're looking to go. So this doesn't, whether this is just your, again, any part of your life actually is where a big part of this is. So you can apply these different tools to every different part of your life, and they will be able to give you direction, guidance that you may need, whether they're divination tools of mediumship, their tarot cards. Maybe you like to use charm readings or uh, your human design. There's all these different avenues where we can find ourself, we can find our truth, and we can really start digging into what we believe in and who we really are. So that authentic self is going to be where the key is. That transparency is a very powerful thing to have in life. That way others know, who they're interacting with, what they're getting, and there's nothing that you have to try to dance around. And you can just be that walking embodiment of who you are. And when you can do that, then people are going to realize, do I align with them or do I not? And that's how you're going to find the community that you're looking for, the customers you're looking for, the clients that you're looking for. You want them to be able to connect to you on the authentic, aligned level, so that way you have a good interaction with them. You have a very beautiful collaboration or transaction or transition or whatever it is that you're working with. And that way you can just align to those that really see you and they appreciate you, which gives you those more things to respond to or to get invited to as well. So yeah, let's just start somewhere. There's a lot of places to start. Through this podcast, I gave you a lot of areas where you can begin. And so let's just start there for now. This is going to be a very short episode. I really wasn't feeling it in the end, being a splenic authority in human design. Usually, when I'm not feeling something, I probably should just not do it. However, there's also a part of my design that is inconsistent at showing up at times. And so I knew that I needed to at least show up for a moment. And even if it was just a brief moment and not the whole hour, I needed to do that because I already scheduled it. However, I am going to be consistent with being on here on Thursdays to do these live episodes as well. And so whether they're a shorter one or a longer one, like I said, I just really wasn't feeling the direction or feeling the episode itself, but I still wanted to come on and make sure I showed up. And that's the key, is consistently showing up. And even if it's imperfect and it just doesn't feel like it's aligned or feel like, sometimes that's just what we navigate through, and we just still show up for the messy parts of life, right? And when we can just show up in that way, it just really shows a lot about us, our strengths, and who we are. So next Thursday, I'll be on again. I'm not real sure where we're going to be diving into. I'm just going to feel it through the week, and I'll definitely keep you guys informed on where we're going to direct the energy of next week and how we can be maybe better prepared or aligned. I don't know. We'll see what happens, right? Many blessings to you guys, though, and I will see you when we come back next week.